Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, wants to invest in your child's future. Yeah, fam. He wants to invest with this thing called a Trump account. A Trump account is a type of investment account created under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So, what's the enticement? Family, they are enticing the parents to create a Trump account with $1,000. They're going to give you $1,000 if you have children born between 2025 and 2028. Check them out.
No provision of the Great Big Beautiful Bill will prove more consequential than Trump accounts. Under this program, the U.S. government will automatically create a tax-free investment account for every newborn American child, something that nobody really would have even thought of. We'll fund those personal accounts with a seed contribution of $1,000, which will compound and grow over the course of their lives and could grow into very, very substantial numbers. Parents, employers, churches, states, and loved ones will also be able to add up to $5,000 in additional money for those accounts. And with every modest contribution, Trump accounts should reach at least $50,000 in value by the time the child turns 18, and could be very substantially more than that. With slightly greater contributions, the typical account will grow to $100,000, $200,000, and can even grow up to past $300,000 per child.
Now we get down to the nitty-gritty. Family, let's break this down. See, the devil is in the details, man. The devil is in the details. So let's say you jumped in on the Trump account. Let's say you got your kid a Trump account. How much money do you think that you would get from $1,000 initial investment? Let's say, $1,000. How much you think you get over 18 years? How much money you think that would be over 18 years? I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay, time's up. If you drop $1,000 in, if they drop $1,000 in for you, that balance would only translate to a gain of around $4,500. To be exact, $4,560. But, what if you continue to invest? Well, it would be the same thing that would happen if you could continue to invest your own money. Yeah, if you continue to invest, if you say put a maximum of $5,000 in, you could end up, the kid could end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of, $300,000 after 18 years. But you don't need a Trump account to do that. You could plant your own seed money. You're gonna have people out here selling their soul for this little chump change that he's offering, which he's really not offering. He put his name on it. He said compliments on their website. They actually took it down. But he had his name on it, saying that this was compliments of him, but nowhere on the website did it say that any of the money would be coming from his personal account. So let's go to the Trump accounts on .gov. Let's see what it says here. Trump accounts jumpstart the American dream. We're going to jumpstart the American dream. So who's eligible? We talked about that. U.S. children under 18 with a valid Social Security number are eligible to establish a Trump account. Parents or legal guardians can open and manage accounts on behalf of their children. Families, friends, and employers can contribute up to $5,000 per child. This is what they're really selling. They're selling the contributions, and that's where the big numbers are coming from. It's not coming from the $1,000. We'll come back to that. What will the money be invested in? Funds will be invested in a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds designed to maximize long-term growth while minimizing risk. When can funds be used? This is a big one. Funds can be accessed without penalty when the child turns 18 years old for qualified expenses like education, a first home purchase, or starting a business. Withdrawals may be subject to restrictions and would be taxed at ordinary income rates. So they say that the funds can be accessed without penalty when the child turns 18. But then it says withdrawals may be subject to restrictions and would be taxed at ordinary income rates. Let's get out of that. Let's move on. Let's take it to the next level. Let me put this guy up here because he's Don the Con is always on one. You know what I mean? He's always got the next con. It's the next scam. So check this out. For older children born between 2016 to 2024 and not eligible for the $1,000, the lure for starting a Trump account is being provided by the Dell Foundation. $250, a whopping $250 will be placed in a child's account if the kid lives in zip codes where median incomes are below $150,000 per year. Those who designed the official government website with the title Trump Accounts Jumpstart the American Dream appear to give Trump credit for the individual and eventual disbursement of the $1,000, as I mentioned, but they provided no indication that any of the money to fund this program comes out of Don the Con's personal funds. The language on the website suggested it does. Each account provides eligible children with $1,000 gift courtesy of Donald Trump. They took that off the website. That's why you didn't see it. After the blowback, of course. However, the source of the funding is clarified by the IRS's new release on December 2nd, 2025. The IRS said this, fam: the federal government will make a one-time pilot program contribution to the Trump account of each eligible child for whom an election is made, who is a U.S. citizen, and who is born on or after January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2028. So it doesn't matter if you voted for Trump and you got kids and you say, well, I'm not going to have any more kids, and you got kids who were born outside of that window, and you could be the biggest Trump supporter. You could be the biggest Trump donator, or the biggest Trump donor, and your kids cannot benefit from this at all. He's basically saying, F you and your children if you ain't having them in between the time that I'm in office. How you gonna pick and choose which kids get to benefit from this program, even though I do believe that the program is ultimately going to fail, because everything that has Trump's name on it that's intended to help others eventually fails. Remember that school? Yeah, I thought so. In other words, taxpayers, not Donald Trump, are covering the cost. The $1,000 for the new little one is not necessarily guaranteed. You see what I'm saying, fam? It's not even necessarily guaranteed. Parents and relatives as a group will be allowed to donate up to $5,000 into the Trump account starting on July 4th, 2026, for which they will not receive a tax benefit. Did you hear me? They will not receive a tax benefit for donating to the fund. The child won't be able to use the money until turning 18. Before then, for most, that money is frozen in the account and can't even be used if the hardship arises, as indicated in a question and answer in the IRS Notice 2025-68, page 31. During the growth period, the years between or before the beneficiary turns 18, is permissible for a trustee to make a hardship distribution from a Trump account or to close a Trump account and distribute the account funds to the account beneficiary? No. During the growth period, the only permitted distributions are those described, such as death of a child. Thus, a trustee is not permitted to make a hardship distribution from a Trump account or to close the Trump account and distribute the account funds to the account beneficiary. Read the fine print, y'all. Hence, if the child is starving to death, about to become homeless, or needs life-saving surgery, none of the money in the Trump account can be used. When the money can be distributed to the account holder, which is the year the beneficiary turns 18, the income earned as well as the initial $1,000 in other contributions that have not been taxed, unlike parent contributions, will be subject to taxation in ways similar to individual retirement accounts. That means the money in the Trump account available for one's use to jumpstart the American dream will, after taxes, be reduced substantially. Additionally, unless the Trump account money is put to an eligible use, such as paying for college or for purchasing their first home, the money withdrawn that is taxed will also be subject to a 10% early withdrawal penalty, unless the beneficiary is at least 59 and a half years old. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. We know a hustle when we see one by now. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. I knew it as soon as I heard about it. I knew it was a hustle because Donald Trump don't do nothing for others. Donald Trump is always trying to help himself. If Donald Trump was serious about helping American children, he'd start by funding or putting more funds into the social programs. He'd start by funding these schools and getting rid of some of these bad teachers. He would start by making sure that these kids had good health care, that every child had health care, right? Right? He would make sure that these kids were living in safe communities and not going through these neighborhoods terrorizing them. Can anybody say ICE? Get out of here with all of that, man. I'm not buying it. This is another con from the great Don. No more talk.